Hello everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood can of tofu here, and I recently made a video about my acceptance into the School of Visual Arts cartooning department, so I thought I could share my portfolio because I know when I was searching for tips for the SVA cartooning department specifically, I could barely find any videos about it. So hopefully I can offer what little knowledge I have for anyone else who's on the search for SVA portfolios. But before we get into my portfolio, I thought I should explain some other parts of my application process because it totally was not a smooth one. I hadn't decided I wanted to go to SVA until like October of my senior year because I was so dead set on not going to college at all. I just couldn't find a school that was right for me until then. I had been looking for illustration majors, and it wasn't until I found out that SVA had a cartooning department that I knew that was where I wanted to be. So if you're feeling like you're deciding too late in the game, don't stress too much because I was totally freaking out about it myself. I also have close to zero experience with an actual art class, which is totally not by choice. I had like half a year of art in my freshman year, and sophomore through senior year, I just couldn't fit an art class into my schedule. So when I made the decision to go to SVA, I did speak to my school's art teacher about an independent study with her, not for the sake of having an art class on my schedule, but because I knew I needed the extra help with a portfolio. Because for me, it was super helpful to have an assignment to carry out instead of trying to rely on myself to come up with some kind of portfolio ready piece to make at home, especially with such little time. This isn't me saying it's a-okay to not take an art class if you want to go to college, an art college, because I definitely think it's a huge help in getting your portfolio ready. But if you're like me and just happen to be unable to, or maybe your school doesn't even offer art classes, I'd suggest to do the best you can with what you have and don't stress too much about it again. And one last thing before I show you my actual portfolio. I'm not sure exactly how art schools look into your grades and GPA, but I have an average GPA of like 3.6 to 3.8, which I think is decent. It's definitely not a perfect 4.0, but I'm happy with it. Again, I have no idea how your GPA or grades affect your acceptance in an art school, but they do ask for it, so I figured I'd share. I'm also pretty involved in after-school activities like GSA and my theater club, and I have like 45 community service hours, which I think for any college, they like to see you getting involved in the community. So again, do your best with what you have, but I'd suggest trying to be involved as much as you can while staying healthy and keeping up with school, of course. All right, now for the part of the video you actually clicked for, my portfolio. I visited the campus a few months before I started collecting pieces for it, and the students in the cartooning department gave me a couple tips, thankfully. They said to add some variety in your portfolio to show the extent of your artistic abilities, and to write as much as you can for each piece when you send it in. And don't fill it with digital pieces. I don't even think that was a tip that they gave me. That was like they put it on the SVI site that you should not fill it with digital pieces. You have to have a mixture of both. Um, you can do a portfolio entirely traditional pieces, but just not entirely digital. So keeping that in mind, let's check out my first piece. These first two pieces are just like sketch dumps I took from my sketchbook. I actually genuinely do some like figure sketching, I guess. I'll just take a picture from the internet or I'll take a picture of myself and draw it out so I can uh, figure out body figures, or I don't know how to put it, as you should. So I just threw those in there. I explained that just what I said just now, that these are just sketches that I do to help me practice. Um, that's about it for this piece, I guess. It's just sketches, and it's very much so recommended that you throw some sketchbook pages like this into your portfolio. This next piece here is an art assignment I had. Like I mentioned, I had ISSP independent study. So we had an assignment of this young girl that had like fairy wings, like those like little play things that you put on kids. And she said to draw the girl, but do what you want with the wings, like change the wings in some way. So I thought the girl looked very angelic and very pretty and nice. So I wanted to draw something that looked gross in comparison to that. So I just took a bunch of pictures of myself and mashed them all together, threw them together on the girl as if, it's the beauty beside this like weird, nasty, demonic looking thing. Uh, I guess that's really all the thought I put into it. It's not supposed to be like super deep. It's just I thought it looked cool. So here we are. I guess that's really it for that one. This next piece is just it's like another sketch page, really, but with chalk pastels. I don't know the actual word for it. Soft pastels? I don't know. I just had some soft pastels laying around, so I, got some pictures off the internet to try to practice how that works. Try to practice shading, lighting. I don't know. This next one is a portrait of me. I was I wanted to learn how to paint. I'm not very good with acrylic paints, so I was practicing uh, painting just with gray tones, whites and blacks. I tried to keep it, only using white and black and mixing colors. It's not the best because I'm no painter, but I figured I'd throw it in there. This next piece is another acrylic painting. I had like an acrylic painting phase sometime recently, so I just threw some of those pieces in here. It's just me as a clown. I forget exactly what I put as the description for this piece, but I just love clowns, and I wanted to draw myself as a clown with a limited palette because I have limited art supplies at home. This piece is a just a picture taken from my comic, my webcomic. I have the link to it in some previous videos. It's currently on hiatus, but I wanted to put this in here to show that I do work with comics on my own, because I know the cartooning department does a lot of comic work. So I wanted to show that I have experience with comics, so I threw this in here. Uh, for, to show how I do with black and white comics. And this next piece is to show my experience with colored comics, and also to show that I have, quite a bit of experience making comics. And when I say experience, I don't mean like I'm a professional comic artist because I'm not. I wanted to show that comics is part of my passion that I do on my free time. I also explained in the portfolio that these are both webcomics that I do, on my own and that I've been working on for a couple of years now, so that they know that I have the passion for this and that I already do this on my own. This next piece is just a drawing I did of an art star by me. I think I actually have a speed paint of this on my channel of me making this. I wanted to add this in here to show that I do backgrounds because I noticed there was a lack of backgrounds in my portfolio. So I was trying to make sure that they knew that I could not only do backgrounds but did this piece traditionally with watercolor. I wanted them to know that I have some extensive pieces with different styles, I guess. I don't know. This next piece is I wanted to show them that I have, uh, I'm able to create original characters and original scenes. So I explained the context with this picture. Added some backgrounds. I wanted to add some pieces that's like cartoony, but there's still a little bit of realism in the sense where it's like they're living in the real world. They're reacting to something similar to the real world, so you can give a little more depth to the characters. This next piece is again me wanting to show that I have experience with character creation, characters that have in-depth stories. Um, I thought this picture alone could show that there is a story behind these characters. So I was trying to add that to let whoever was looking know that I work very hard on my comics and on my stories. This I just wanted to show. I don't know why I put this in here. I was just very proud of this piece. I like how it came out, so I wanted to add it. Um, there's really no context behind this aside from these characters are just juggalos, and I love ICP and their music, so I just wanted to draw my characters as such and add a little background to it. I don't know. I just really like this piece, and I thought it was very well done, so I thought I'd throw it in there. This one I more so put in my portfolio because it was more about the story behind this painting, or not painting, this piece, and why I wanted to put it in here because I struggle a lot with finding an art style in terms of coloring. Like I'm very happy with my drawing style, like this the way my characters look, but in terms of how I color my art, I'm struggling because there's so many different beautiful kinds of art styles, like very muted and soft and warm colors. And I also love very bright and out there neon colors. So this piece was a mixture of those things to figure out, you know, different sides of my art style. I drew one part with those warm tones that I love, and then the other part with those bright colors, those weird colors that I also love and I used to be so attached to, which I thought would show the extent of my artistic abilities of being able to not only go all the way bright neon and all the way, tone it down a bit. I don't know if it looks that impressive, but I just like the idea behind this piece, so I thought I'd throw it in. This piece I just threw in there also because there was more of a story behind it. I explained the characters, sort of briefly, explained the context of what's happening. I really just wanted to show that these characters exist beyond, like, more than a page. I don't know how to explain that well, but I like drawing characters, in an environment so that you can get more of a feel for them in the world that they live in. So that's why I added this piece in here. This comic, I honestly don't remember why I put this in here. I just thought it was really cute, and I thought it was I wanted to show this comic because I like the idea of explaining parts of my story without specifically saying it, and I think that's a really good way to tell a story. Of course, you don't want to say it outright, so I wanted to, in the description of the portfolio, I typed that I wanted to show that this character was in the closet without saying it outright. So I drew this comic to, like, this character is having a homosexual interaction and his family is like, what the hell is going on here, so that you can tell that this character is in the closet without actually, without anyone saying anything about it. um me trying to add depth to my characters more, trying to build their world so they feel more real. And I wanted the school to know that I put work into my characters like that. I want to make them feel real. Uh so I guess that's why I put it in here, but it's also just really cute. I think this is a cute comic. I just threw it in there. I don't know. This piece, I love this piece. Not really for, I guess it turned out okay, but I love like monochrome. Yeah, monochrome. I love monochrome colors, and I wanted to try it out for myself. I just had fun with this piece. I colored it monochrome with watercolor, and then I didn't know what to do for the background, so I just, threw in a picture that I took, and I thought that it ended up looking pretty cool. So I threw it in there. I like how it came out. I had fun with this, so uh, I like how it came out. I had fun with it. I figured it deserved to go on my portfolio. And that's everything in my portfolio. I was hoping I was able to give y'all some inspiration for how you might want to organize your portfolio. Just remember not to copy any of my pieces. One, because I don't want you copying my art, and neither will SVA, because they will find you out. And two, because you want your portfolio to show your own strengths, which is going to be totally different than mine. So use your own best works to show who you are as an artist and your strengths and what you want them to see about you. Um, and I guess good luck with your application process. I hope you make it. And if you are in the school, comment down below so we can pop into each other's DMs. I don't know. I want to make SVA buddies. Uh, I still don't have an outro. Peace out, bros. Peace. Bye. 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 Bye.